Well, it has been a good season. Not as successful as last season, but still, we can be very proud of what we have achieved this year. And I was right about the Cups, and we've had a very good end of year. Let's find out what happened. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to Athletico Bilbao, and if you are a first time visitor, then why not subscribe, like, watch and comment. Help the channel to grow and help us to support the very good stuff that you can see scrolling above. And it has been a good season, despite the squad getting smaller, despite the amount of games getting much bigger. We have still done ourselves proud, and we have qualified for the Champions League this season. And I was right in the last episode that we had to get out of the cup competitions. And after we were out of the cup competitions, our form improved a great deal. And at the end of the season, we have gone into a very good run of form, albeit that our fixtures were fairly simple. So let's see what happened in terms of results on the pitch. And in terms of the squad has been thinned out a great deal, and you can see that we have a number of young players. But if we have a look at the average ratings for the season, we have some players like Raul Garcia, who's now 36. He had an outstanding season, as did fullback Odriozola. He had an amazing season. Inaki Williams continues to improve, and he had a great season too, as well as Yuri, the goalkeeper Simon, Yere and Vilabra. And I think it's Vilabra that we need to look at in particular, and it might be that he needs to get a lot more game time. He's just 25 years old, and he is a good player, and he's scored a lot of goals this year. And if we look at the goals scored, you can see that Inaki Williams, of course, was going to top that list. He has 23 goals and 8 assists. And behind him is Nico Williams with 17 goals and 10 assists from the wing. Berenger from the wing, 14 goals and 4 assists. And Vilabra has 13 goals and 4 assists. And he hasn't played as much as anyone else. And I think that he has the potential to do some damage for us next year. But where to play him is the issue. And I think if we're looking at playing him as a pressing forward, and given that we do have problems in terms of the amount of players we have up top, we might be switching to a 4-2-3-1 formation, and we'll play Inaki Williams as a shadow striker behind Vilabra, who can play as a pressing forward, and see if we can do some damage playing in this way. It's probably time to make a change of this nature after 2 seasons, and so given that we have a limited number of options up front, then I think that is probably the best move to make. So in terms of what has happened on the pitch, it's been a very, very good end to the season. As you recall, we had a terrible October. November was pretty poor, but we recovered around Christmas, and February we went into decline again. And it was at that point that I decided perhaps it was not a good idea to be in the Cups. And we did. As you recall, we lost to Valencia in the Spanish Cup quarter-final, playing the young boys. It was a very close affair, but we lost it in the end. And then we were beaten by Bayern Munich, just very, very narrowly on penalties. We weren't outplayed by Bayern. We did ourselves proud, and it was not a bad thing to go out of the cup at that point, because after that we went into this lovely run of form, and we have picked up amazingly well, and that has meant that we have finished in second place in the Spanish La Liga. We won the title last year, but we weren't good enough. We weren't strong enough to be able to play that amount of games. But we played 37 so far, and we have 81 points. Barcelona are already champions. They are 7 points ahead as we go into the final round of games. And we do have a fairly straightforward game, I think, against Cadiz. But is anything straightforward on FM? So we shall have to be alert, and we'll have to be on our game to beat Cadiz. And in terms of the transfer, oh boy, it just gets harder and harder, and they are really not able to find any players, and we are losing one of our players, but they cannot find anybody. We have a number of players on the short list, and in particular I am looking at this centre-back, 22-year-old centre-back, and he can also play as a defensive midfielder. He's got a lot of potential, but we simply can't afford to buy players. We may get this young lad in and see what he can do. The board have given us no money whatsoever, and when they released the budgets, this is what happened. They decided we could have 3.4 million as a transfer budget, but they have increased the wage budget a little, which is of no value to us, because unless we can buy players in, wages doesn't make a difference at all. So we're still up against it in terms of transferring players in, and I really find this very difficult to believe that, given what we've achieved, that the board are not prepared to reinvest any of the money that they have made from Champions League. And again, going into the Champions League this season, they are not prepared to allow us any money to strengthen the squad. This really is a save where you have to develop young players, and I've looked at the squad a little bit. We do have a couple of young players that possibly we can develop next year, but this is not going to happen next year. It's going to be for years to come. So I'm hoping that, again, we can just hold our own next year, and a top 4 finish would be absolutely brilliant. But we do have a game to play today, and I think we should go ahead and finish off the season and play against Cadiz. And so for the team for this final game of the season is Simon in goal, with Odriozola, Vivian, Inogu, Martinez and Yuri at the back, Munion, Sanchet, Mencayola and Nico Williams in midfield, with Raul Garcia getting the nod, with Valabra at front. And Nico Williams is still not 100% fit, so he will start on the bench should we need him. And I think it's a team that's strong enough. We've dropped the lines a little bit because we know they play very direct Route 1 football, and I don't want them to be banging the ball over the top and sneaking goals or doing us with a last minute attack. And so we've dropped the line back a little bit to hopefully counter-attack the fact that they are going to play direct football, and they are going to be playing a very long ball game and try to catch us out, pulling us forward. And we are in control of the game during the first 10 minutes, and hopefully we will get on the score sheet very, very quickly. This is a game we should be winning. And there is a cross, and here is Williams. Williams to Sanchet. Sanchet, he looks for Munion. Munion finds Yuri. Back to Munion. Munion, can he get a cross in? He looks inside, but unfortunately it doesn't find its target, and Cadiz can bring the ball forward. But here is Garcia, and Garcia has a snapshot, and that was very, very close and almost opening the scoring. And we are in control. We're totally dominating the game, but we do have to be alert. This one-shot wonders, I do worry about them, which is why we dropped the line a little bit. And there's a chance, and with their first opportunity, Cadiz have taken the lead, and we are behind, and that was just what I was afraid of. But hopefully we can get our act together and pull this match around. We do go behind a lot, I have noticed that, and come back strongly in the second half. But that was just their first attempt on goal, a snapshot from the corner of the penalty area. It is 1-0 to Cadiz. There's nothing you can do when this happens. we are totally dominating the game, although they have come back into it a little bit in the last 10 minutes. I'm going to demand more from the team. This is not acceptable, and there are a number of players not giving 100% here. This is poor football. We need to be playing a lot better, and Yuri has picked up an injury, and that's the last thing that I wanted at this point. And I only have Imanol on the bench. He's a young player who possibly needs some development. And at halftime, it's a game we've dominated, but we are behind. I'm going to say you've been terrible. Get your act together. But I'm going to say you have the ability to go out there and make a difference. Now go and make it happen. And give it 15 minutes, and I think we might have to make some changes after 15 minutes if nothing happens. But we do have a free kick. So can we get something from this set piece? It is Munyon over the ball, and he's looked for a curler, and it has been well saved by the goalkeeper, and that was almost the equaliser. And here is Sanchez in midfield. He sweeps the ball out, and we're seeing this goal line technology again, which actually doesn't show anything, and I don't know why that's in the game, so we don't need to see that. It's a game that we are absolutely dominating and cannot put the ball in the back of the net once again, and this team is playing very poorly. But here is, and we're building from the back. Can we do something here? Here's Williams. Williams looks for Sanchez. He's having a fairly decent game, but we're all playing well except up front, and it might be time to bring on Inaki Williams now and take off Vilabra, who I was just praising earlier on. But here is Vilabra hits one, and maybe we won't take off Vilabra. Vilabra has scored. It is 1-1, and we are back in this game, and maybe we won't take off Vilabra now. We'll leave him on, and Inaki Williams can sit on the bench for now. And that was a lovely strike from Vilabra. It's now 1-1. Beautiful ball, and he just hit it first time. And what a strike into the top corner. You don't save them. And it is now Bilbao 1, Cadiz 1. I think we need to possibly take this game to them a little bit more now. What I think I'll do is I'll make some changes, and we'll go a bit more attacking. And so we have decided to go for it. We are going attacking. We've put the fullbacks on attack. We need to get this second goal. I won't be too happy just drawing 1-1 in our final game, although nothing is going to come of it. But it looks like our attacking intent has not worked, and it is going to be, I think, a 1-1 draw, although there is one last highlight. Can we get a goal in time added on? We do like quite a lot, but unfortunately the ball has fallen to Cadiz. It might be Cadiz who win the match and that was a very, very good save by Simon. I think that is now going to be it, unless Cadiz score from the set piece. We had to go attacking. I don't mind now if we lose it in time added on, because this has not been a great performance by the boys, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We have come second in the league, and we need to defend this set piece, and that is headed clear, but it falls to the Cadiz player, and this is where they scored from in the first half, and there's a little header, and that's easily claimed by Simon, and the game is over, and it finishes 1-1. We should have won that match, and I'm telling them that I'm a bit disappointed that they didn't win that match. It was a poor performance, and however, we can't be really too hard on this team. They have done exceptionally well, and they have had an amazing end to the season, and they have come second in La Liga, and we can be very proud of what we have achieved given the size of the squad that we had. And so we just have to look forward to next season. There are going to be changes in terms of how we are going to play, how we are going to set up, and I look forward to that, and hopefully it can bring a couple of players in, because all that seems to be happening is players are going out. And that's it for this episode. We have done well again. We have finished second in our second season. Not as good as last season, but now we have to prepare for the final season that we will be here, season 3. If you are new to the channel, then why not subscribe, like, watch and comment. Help the channel to grow and help us to support all that good stuff that you can see scrolling above. And so for now, at the end of episode 6, we will say we will see you in the next episode.